Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is introduce you all to some tips and tricks on how to write a real estate business plan. So without further ado, let's go ahead and mosey on through my little PowerPoint presentation that I've got prepared. And first and foremost, a little bit about me, then we're going to talk about you and your real estate business plan needs. First and foremost, I am a professional writer. I love to write books, and love to write business plans. So if y'all want to avoid all the trials and tribulations of writing your own real estate business plan, please pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. Be absolutely delighted to help. Next, if you all do want to go ahead and embrace the experience of writing your own business plan, at least have some kind of a template or book to follow as a guide. From that, check me out on Amazon.com. Just Google my name, Paul Borosky, in Amazon, and you'll be able to find several of the books that I've written on business plan writing. They're great guides for y'all to follow when you're going through the business plan writing process. And finally, experience. I am an adjunct professor and subject matter expert for business and finance. So I do have some educational background supporting some of my thoughts and ideas. And since I do finance as a subject matter expert, if y'all need some financial projections, you've already written up your plan, you just need the numbers, give me a call. I'd love to supply you with a little bit of numbers. All right. Now that we got that taken care of, let's go ahead and talk about some tips and tricks on how to write your own real estate company business plan. So tip number one, when some business owners, especially in the real estate, start writing their company description section, what they'll do is they'll immediately dive into the company and they'll start talking about how many agents they're going to have, the area they're going to be located in, their niche market, how their industry knowledge in general. But what is usually missing from my most humble of experiences when writing a company description for a real estate business plan is a story. Everybody loves a good story. And not only telling a good story, it makes you a real person. It shows your passions, your love, your drive for being in the real estate industry. So, share a story, share an experience. What got you into the real estate industry? Was it the difficulty of finding your first home? Was it poor service that you experienced from 5 or 6 other real estate agents in the area? Whatever the driving factor is behind you getting into the real estate company or the real estate industry, you make sure to touch on that, make sure to introduce it, and then go into describing your business. It makes you more real, and then it's a great segue into describing your business. Next, in the company description section of your real estate business plan, make sure to discuss the problem that you're solving. Yes, everybody wants a home, and so you're going to be selling them a home, or somebody needs an office space, thus you're going to provide them with some office space. But to go a little bit deeper than that, sometimes clients, what they really want is somebody who knows the area, who has a sound foundation of real estate in general, that they want a guide through the home buying process. So, don't just hit on the obvious where somebody wants to buy a house or they want to lease some space in a company or they want to buy some land. Go a little bit deeper and really understand your client's needs. And from that, then introduce that and include that in your problem statement as to, how you are going to make their lives easier. Finally, in the company description, talk about your competitive advantage. What are you going to do better than other real estate agents in the area? Are you a location expert? Do you know all the subdivisions? Are you familiar with the schooling systems? Are you a skilled negotiator? That's huge when you're negotiating hundreds of thousands of dollars of contracts on a monthly basis. If you're a skilled negotiator, then discuss that as well. But make sure to identify your competitive advantage. And once you identify your competitive advantage and you're able to state that, then you can go ahead and start aligning some other aspects of your business with your competitive advantage. That's going to intertwine, the different aspects of your business, and it can really create a lot of synergy for your firm. Tip number 2, industry expert. Industry research. When you are going to write your industry research for a real estate business plan, a lot of realtors, what they'll do is they'll take a look at the local market and they'll start talking about the school systems. They'll talk about how many houses were sold in the area, the average price, and the demographics, and so on and so forth. And doing that does show that you are an expert in the area. Unfortunately, though, all the other real estate agents are doing the same darn thing. So you're really not differentiating yourself a whole heck of a lot from the other real estate agents that are doing industry research as well. From my experience in working with some different real estate agents, throughout the U.S., I find that doing a industry research, starting with your national perspective, go to your Statistica, go to your IBIS world, go to some different, national real estate agents or real estate sources, and find out what some of the national trends are. What is the, for example, right now in the last month, 6.7 million units were sold in the U.S. In the last month. Average home price selling right now is about $311,000. So identify some national trends and some national statistics and lead off your industry research with that information. Once you do that, then start talking about your local area and then start talking about your competitors. And when you analyze your competitors, make sure you're comparing your competitors to some national trends or to some local trends. Show that your competitors are not fully exploiting the market opportunities. Once you're showing that your competitors are not exploiting market opportunities, then you can show that you are going to fill a niche in the marketplace, and now your industry research is aligned with a competitive advantage in your company description, and now it's more intertwined, a better way again to create synergy for your business plan. Tip number 3, advertising. Oh my, do real estate agents love to advertise. Real estate agents are going to be on the social media. They're going to be posting homes that they've listed. They're going to be posting homes that they sold. They're going to be posting, big smiley faces with, shaking hands of the clients that just bought their new home. All the hoopla that goes with buying a home. Most real estate agents are going to do that. So just keep that in mind. Social media, using those avenues or those traditional ways to advertise is almost expected. Next, for the website, a lot of real estate agents, what they'll do is they'll just have a bunch of listings up there, and they'll be advertising the listings over the website. And again, that's almost standard for the industry. What's not standard, though, is when a person goes to your website, in my most humble opinions, they're usually looking to either buy or sell real estate in a specific area. If you specifically state your geographic location serviced, or you're an expert in this specific geographic location, then that's going to add a lot of credibility, and then dive into your listings and show your listings, or show some possible homes that are for sale, and start advertising from there. But at least set the customer's expectations to where you are an expert, and the geographic location on a website is an excellent place to do that. Another great way for real estate agents to really promote is going to be the word of mouth, and also networking. Get out and go to the Chamber of Commerce's. Do your caravans with the different real estate agents. So get out and meet people and talk to people and talk up your listings. One of the things that I have found that has been very effective, but is kind of going towards the way of the dodo bird, is listing flyers. When you are starting to farm your area, or when you're starting out and you want to start building up a list of referrals, it's going to take a lot of work. And one of the ways that I have found in working with some real estate agents is just going out, knocking on doors, and giving out flyers in neighborhoods. Become an industry expert. Have your face aligned with selling of homes or listing of homes. When you do that, and you do that on a consistent basis for a month, for 3 months, for 6 months, for however long it takes, get out there, do some walking, do some meeting, and the in-person it's not dead anymore. Just because we're all attached by the hip or by the pocket nowadays, with our wireless phones and so on. In-person selling is not it's not dead, and it's an area where it's actually not fully exploited, and that's a niche you might be able to exploit. All right, next is going to be tip number 4, funding request. Every company that's ever been started, that will ever be started, it needs money, whether it's money that's coming from you or somebody else. You do want to make sure you have a funding request section in your business plan. The way that I structure my funding request is, first and foremost, on the top line, first sentence, I am going to explicitly state how much money I need for my business to start my real estate business. I'm going to be specific. For example, in starting this real estate company, funding needed is $350,000. Now you've got a specific dollar amount, and you can justify that dollar amount later on. If you put a range, $200,000 to $300,000, A, you're going to look wishy-washy. You don't know how much money you need, and B, when you're put in a range, then most of the people are going to, if they're going to give you funding, they're going to go to the lower end of the range. And so, very few times I've seen when someone goes for a range, they get the top dollar amount. It's usually the bottom dollar amount. So don't put a range in there. Put a specific dollar amount. Next, when you go ahead and state that specific dollar amount in the top line, then break up your funding needs into categories. Break out your category for your build out for your office space, your working capital, which is the money that you need to keep operations going until you start getting some of your checks in. Equipment, how much money you're going to need for equipment, and then inventory. So for each one of these subcategories right here, align a dollar amount needed for each one of the categories, and don't get specific. For example, for your build out, you're going to spend $2,342.53 on a sign, $1,352 for a caulk for making sure that it's airtight. Not needed. Just put a dollar amount for the build out. Later on, you can go ahead and provide the details if requested, but you want a little bit of wiggle room in each one of the categories. You want to show that you're decisive with the top line, but in the categories, you want a little bit of wiggle room because you don't know how much a computer is going to cost. It might cost $1,275 now, but when you get ready to buy it, it might be $1,450. Now you just blew your budget, and you don't want to put yourself in that position. So give yourself some wiggle room. So give a dollar amount for the build out, give a dollar amount for the working capital. Make sure you keep in mind an advertising budget in that working capital. Make sure you put an equipment dollar amount in the inventory dollar amount. In the inventory, usually it's going to be a lot of paper for realtors, from my experience. All right, at the bottom of it, total up the total, each one of the categories, total it up into a grand total, and that grand total for each category should be the identical number that you have requested on the top line of your funding request. All right, next is financial projections. When you start a real estate company, usually people aren't doing it just for kicks and giggles. They want to make a little bit of money. And having a financial projection or a financial model will help you ascertain ballpark how much money you're going to need in order to keep the lights on. And you can even determine how many sales that you're going to need in order to ensure that profits are made to keep your business going. So for this example right here, the way that I've structured this basic real estate basic profit and loss statement is to start with identifying how many sales or the average commission price received for a home sale in your area. For this example right here, I'm saying that the average commission received is going to be $7,700. Next, what you're going to do is you're going to identify how much you're going to pay your agents out of that money. I'm going for a 50-50 split, which is going to give us a variable cost of about $3,800. And once you, or a 49-51 split rather. And so once you've done that, you're then going to deduct your variable cost from your sales price. In this example, is going to leave us a gross profit of $3,900. Then estimate how many sales you're going to have in a month. For this example, I'm going to say it's 7. You're going to multiply that 7 by a $3,900 gross profit. Gives us a gross total of $27,300. The next step is, for a lot of my other models that I do, I'll multiply it by days in a month. But since we are doing this on a monthly projection, I'm going to put 1 right here, and it's going to give us a gross monthly profit of $27,300. Next thing what we're going to do is we're going to identify our monthly fixed cost. We might have a loan for $750, inventory, all the paper that we're going to be carrying around $1,000 a month. Labor might be $4,000 a month for a couple of assistants. Space rental, $3,500. Utilities for that space rental, $800. Marketing might be $5,000. Accounting, legal, and insurance could be $50. Then we've got the miscellaneous to catch all. You are going to have unexpected costs. Make sure you have a budget for it, and that budget is going to be your miscellaneous. Once you've identified all your fixed costs, total them up, put it right here in this example, $15,600. And finally, we are going to be doing our monthly profits. In order to calculate our monthly profits, we're going to go ahead and pull down our monthly gross profits, 27,300, put it right here. Then we're going to grab our monthly cost right here, 15,600, and we'll put it right here. And then finally, we are going to subtract our gross profits from our monthly cost, which will give us our net profits of $11,700. So if our objective is to reach net profits of $10,000 a month, then we know that if we sell 7 units, we are going to exceed that expectation. And once we got this financial model built, we can then start changing around some of the commissions. If we think our commissions are going to be lower or higher, we can change it here, and all of the numbers will roll over and reflect what our new profits are going to be. If we are going to maybe sell 9 units, homes in a month, we put it right here. And again, we're going to be able to see our profits as long as we have all of our financial model aligned with the calculations. All right, and finally, in summary, when you are doing a real estate company business plan, make sure to follow a proven format. If you start with a blank screen, you may end with a blank screen after 2 or 3 or 4 hours of staring at it. You're not going to make any progress or any headway. A great way to go and get a template for your real estate company maybe is to visit the SBA website. The SBA, they've got some really good templates out there. They are general templates, so that template may be good for a real estate company. It could be good for a real retail company. It could be good for a restaurant, a manufacturer. And once you get that template, now you've got to figure out which categories you need and what categories you don't need. But it's usually easier to figure that out as compared to reinventing the wheel. If you do want an industry-specific real estate company template, then just contact my company, go to my site, and I do have several different templates created or in the process of being written. Next, when you are writing your company, make sure the star of the show is your business. You want the real estate company itself. You want to describe it in all its wonderful details, from how it's going to operate, the number of employees you're going to have, the areas you're going to be servicing, advertising methods you're going to be embracing. Talk about the company. Don't make it all about you. One of the biggest pitfalls I find for entrepreneurs in general, especially in a real estate company, is that their business plan is all about them. And they've got list after list of all their accomplishments and their educational experiences. And they're talking about their childhood and swimming on the lake and their parents first sell their home. And that's all wonderful and good. However, you're really losing the essence of a business plan by just keeping the focus on you. Make sure you talk about the business. Start of the show is a business. And finally, if you need help, don't sit and stew. Pick up the phone, call me, send me a text, send me email, and just contact me if you need help writing the business plan, doing the financial projections, or whatever kind of a service you're going to need. All right. So if you do want to write your business plan on your own, and you want some more information for tips and tricks in specific categories of a real estate business plan, just mosey on over to my website, qualitybusiness.com, qualitybusinessplan.com/how to write a real estate business plan. And in this website right here, I'm going to go into a little bit more depth in each section of the business plan and give you some tips and tricks that are going to further help you write up the plan. And then finally, if you do want a business plan template for the real estate company, visit my website at qualitybusinessplan.com/business plan templates. Once you are there, I do have several different templates provided for different industries. On these templates, I do the industry research for you, and I also do give you just an example of a financial projection. And if you do get the template, you also get a basic financial model and a video to show you how to use the template in the financial model. It's a great little structure. If the real estate template is not complete by the time you go over there, just send me a message. I'll move it up to the top of the list, and you can usually have it updated or ready to go within 24 to 48 hours. And finally, if this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up on YouTube, and always have a phenomenal day. Thank you.